Okay, everybody. So we've had the exam, for better or worse. Worse, probably, maybe better. At any rate, I have not turned it in for grading yet because I don't know if any of the questions are faulty or if there's more than one answer. I think there's a right answer. If there's not. So this is your chance to, first of all, if you just don't understand the answer, you can ask. And if you disagree with my answer in some way, you can tell me now so that we fix it. Okay? What's that? Question 2. Yeah. Let's see. We can almost see it there. Suppose that the Irish people start to like foreign goods more. Right, so they're spending more of their income on foreign goods. And we're asked to, what happens to the multiplier here? Right? And so the story here is the government buys something. Right? Government buys something, that thing gets produced, and the guy who sold it feels rich. And as a rich person, now, he's going to do whatever a rich person does. Before, he went out and bought a bunch of Irish goods, which made another Irish person feel rich and so on. But now, trader, he goes out and buys French goods. Now he's just buying a bunch of French stuff, so that does nothing for the Irish economy. Right? So that money kind of just leaves. And so the multiplier is smaller because the next person doesn't feel as rich because he's only the portion that he's spending on Irish goods. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. So that would be like a higher percentage of their autonomous spending. That is not wrong. That is genuinely not wrong. Like I didn't specify that it's a marginal effect. And so that would be C. So if I could somehow mark this so that I know it later. It is not my preferred answer, but it is a correct answer. So yeah, we'll accept C as well. Yeah, that's correct. If it changed autonomous spending but not the marginal, that would be correct, yes. That goes to show you can't see into other people's heads, yeah. So I'll accept either one.
So the answer is C and not A?
No, A is good. I actually think A is better, but C is a completely reasonable way to interpret the question. No?
Yeah, because it's not dropping the multiplier which was before. It's just something expanding and it's go abroad.
Mm-hmm.
And the multiplier stays the same. That's my...
That is a reasonable interpretation. And just to sort of make this clear, it's two interpretations about the setup to the question. In the multiplier stays the same interpretation. It's that before they were spending, let me. No, if autonomous spending changed, it would change GDP. Yeah, so that would. I should read all the answers actually to be sure. Oh my God, increase GDP? That should be, that's correct. So just to make sure everyone's on the same page here, to see what's going on, because it's a teaching opportunity. And we love them teaching opportunities, do we not? So the way they were interpreting it is, we have this thing. Does this thing work? Nothing is working. Nothing works for me because we're not getting reception, right? I cannot point. Oh, there we go. Way over here like a schmuck, sort of under control, not really. So that's saying that this 100 changed. That is, 100 changes the autonomous spending. So that's going to shift your curve up and down, but it's not going to change the slope of anything. And so then the multiplier doesn't change at all, right? GDP would change. the way I interpreted the question, I think honestly it's a better way, but this is fine, because obviously my way is the best way, obviously, is that we've changed the percentage of the spending. So that is when you change your percentage of the spending, when you get richer, before you spent, say, 80% of your income, new income on Irish goods and services. Now you spend 80% of your income, new income, but only half of that is going to Irish goods and services. So I'm thinking more of the marginal is changing there. But the question is vague, and either one is reasonable, so I'll accept either one. Other comments, objections, subjects? This is the time to bring them up. Yes, thank you. 7, yeah. Let's see what it was. Let's see how I do. Wrong. Yeah. 6, question 7. Kathy was paid 10 euros per hour in 2021, and this is going to be hard because I can't draw on the screen. And is being paid 15 euros per hour in 2023. The CPI in 2021 was 120. The CPI in 2023 is 140. Kathy's real wage has increased, decreased, remained the same, or cannot be determined, right? And so what we want to do, the real wage is how many baskets of goods can she afford to buy, right, with this money. And we can think of the CPI as the price of a basket of goods, right? So if we wondered how many Snickers bars she could buy with her 15 euros, we take the 15 euros, we divide it by the price of a Snickers bar, and that would tell us how many she could buy. It's the same thing with these baskets of goods. So her real wage in 2021 is 10 divided by 120, whatever that is, and in 2023, it's 15 divided by 140. And it's just whichever of those is bigger. It's more baskets of goods that she can buy. Okay. If you're shy and you're waiting till after class to bring up your objection, that's not the way to do it, because I am a glutton for punishment, and I want to be publicly humiliated. Whitney beat me. Yes?
Go for question 8.
8, yeah.
Can you describe the difference between A and C?
And C. Okay. GDP excludes important factors that affect people's well-being, such as the value of unpaid housekeeping services. And C? What's the other one that you want?
C.
And C. And services purchased by households. They are, the thing that's being done can be exactly the same thing. Like I can clean my house, that's A, or I can hire someone to clean my house. The house gets cleaned the same amount of work goes in, but when I do it myself, it doesn't get counted in GDP, but when I hire someone to do it, it does. And so if I hire you to clean my house and you hire me to clean your house, nothing really happened there, but all of a sudden it's counted in GDP. Okay? Which is one of the goofinesses of GDP. Like it's not a measure of what we want it to be a measure of. It's a measure of what we could measure, okay? Which is related, but not the same. Yeah?
For question 9, the consumer price index measures the cost. Should we be changing baskets because every 5 years we change the items in the basket?
So this is question 9. Measure the cost of a fixed basket of goods and services and a changing basket of goods. I see what you're doing there. Okay. And I haven't even seen the whole question. Yeah. Okay. So people get that. So she says, I'll paraphrase you and objective if I get it wrong. Why is it not B, a changing basket of goods and services? Because in principle, we would like to have the same basket of goods and services, but we cannot, in practice, have the same basket of goods and services forever. Otherwise, our CPI would still have a lot of horses and buggies and whips and all that kind. Well, it still has whips, but different reasons now. And it's carried, so we couldn't do that. Like, as a practical matter, people buy different stuff now than they did 200 years ago, and we have to somehow reflect that. So every once in a while, we need to update the basket. You are correct, ma'am. Yes, that is correct. Yes, we'll have to accept B2. Absolutely. It is not, in principle, what we're trying to do, right? We're trying to keep the basket fixed as we can, but in practice, you're absolutely right. We have to occasionally do that. Okay, this is question 9, and we are accepting B as well. Okay. Question writing is hard. Yes. I can. I'm a little scared that it's not going to show up on this PDF reader, but we will try. Yeah, see, it doesn't. So what do we do with that? So what do you want to know about the graph? Do I have a piece of paper? I think we can do it this way. And do I have a pen? Okay. And of course, I can't see it on mine either. Let me get it so I can actually read it. So I draw it correctly. And of course, I can't do that either. Okay. Okay, fun times. Bear with me, bear with me. I might be able to do this, I might not. Okay, we want to go to sorry about this. Technology hates me. It's one of those abusive relationships where I love it and it hates me. And all right, third PDF reader, see if it can do it. It cannot. So I do not have the exam here. I don't have the graph here, so I will try. Oh, you have it there. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot. Yeah. Come on. Give up. Totally give up. Okay. Here we go. So what do we got here? Let's see. Does it show like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So based on the figure, the income expenditure multiplier is what? So there's a number of ways you could do this, but the most straightforward is we got 3 different lines, and we're told, let's take the difference between, say, this one and this one. So we have, in that case, this lowest one has intersection here at 400. And the middle one has intersection here at 800. So in that case, A went from 200 to 400. So plus 200, went up by 200. And total output, Y, went from 400 to 800. So it went up by plus 400. Right? So it went up twice as much as the change in autonomous spending, and so the multiplier is 2. Okay?
Thank you.
Did I get it right? I'm hoping. Other questions, comments? Oh, yeah. 12. I can try. Question 12. Okay. If consumption increases by 9 when after-tax disposable income increases by 10, the marginal propensity to consume is what? Marginal propensity to consume, just a fancy name for extra tendency to consume. Marginal is always extra. Propensity is just a goofy word we use because of the 1800s. And to consume. So if you get a little richer, how much more do you consume? Right, so if you find €1, what percentage of that do you spend? And so here, they got 10 euros richer, and they spent 9 more. So that's 90% more. So 0.9. Marginal propensity to consume is 0.9. Just you're multiplying the amount richer you got by something to get your extra consumption. So it's 0.9 that you have to multiply the 10 by to get 9. Yeah? Okay. Does that match my answer? It does. I'm so happy. Yeah. Now, I really like this part because, it's an exam. People are focused, so they might learn something. And, of course, errors might be found, which would also be good. Total income of capital and labor must equal total production, profits, revenue, consumption, investment. So we have the 3 things, right? If I sell a sandwich, I've got the sandwich, I've got the money you paid for the sandwich, I got the money I got from the sandwich. And total income is the money I got from the sandwich. So it has to be equal to the value of the sandwich. It has to be equal to the amount spent on the sandwich. The amount spent on the sandwich isn't there, but production is the sandwich itself. That's what that one's getting at. It does have a feeling like a more deep question than that you're supposed to know accounting and stuff, but it really is just the sandwich. Yeah.
But if it says like total income,
Uh-huh.
for question 5, it says like income.
Mm-hmm.
So like, why is it not like, what should I say? Like, shouldn't the answer be like a number, like a statistic? Like, for example, profit is like money, whereas production is not really like money.
Should have said value of production. That is true. Okay, it would have been better for me to have said value of production rather than production. Okay, and so now I see that my answer is a little weak there, in the sense that it could be misleading in that way. So I'm very open to anyone suggesting why another one is a reasonable answer. Right, because I see that mine is slightly confusing. And so if there's another reasonable one that a person could get to, given that they're confused with mine, I'm willing to go for it. But you have to make the case, right? Why one of the other ones is reasonable. Okay. You said what?
Investment.
Yeah.
Because I looked at it like GDP, where income is equal to the output produced. So the total income should equal like the output that the company invested.
I don't follow. Maybe I should, but I don't. We can talk afterwards, and like if I'm convinced, I feel like I'm going to have to be brought around, And so maybe this isn't the best spot, but I'm willing to listen because, again, it is genuinely a little confusing in that way. So, yeah.
I also said investment because like the total market and business investment on capital.
I couldn't hear, sorry.
I said investment versus like the total money a business spends on capital and labor. It's like the investment.
So you think about the labor as an investment. Yeah.
Or like capital because it's efficiently so you can affect like
Yeah. Is not how we define the word investment, though. Right? We say it's anything that increases productive ability in the future. So labor now isn't quite that. I will think whether it's the confusion is enough to drive a person there. I will. I'll get to you in just a second. Let me circle this one, and I'll come back to it myself, like in the privacy of my office, so that I think properly about it. This was question what? What question is it here? 5, thank you. I'm inclined, by the way, don't get your hopes up. I'm inclined that it's good, but I do understand that that's a bit confusing, and so I'd want to think properly about it. That's not going to work. Okay, we have it written over here. Yeah, I think I'm going to stick with A, but let me not commit at the moment and think it through. And talk to you guys after the class. Yes, sorry.
See if total income capital labor is equal to production, then production is like total market value by quantity produced, can it not be revenue as well?
Yeah. Yeah, because it's the revenue. And we never made a distinction between revenue and what? Revenue and what? Yeah, it's.
Because like I put down revenue. But it's the same thing. That was like my thought process.
Yeah, I kind of buy that. Yeah. Because we never defined revenue, so you're thinking income, revenue, kind of. Because it is equal to income, right? So that is, yeah.
I had actually the same question, just wanted to add on to that, the word income specifically,
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure we only use it to refer to like money and similar things. So my intuition was to go for production because that's quantity,
Mm-hmm.
not money. I said, okay, what is the income generated by capital and labor together? So what's the income generated by production? And also for revenue. So that's the thought process that. Not quite sure if I went wrong.
Yeah. Okay. What I'm going to say at the moment is that I'm changing my mind and I'm a little more inclined the other way. But I honestly should think about it before I make a statement and make promises to you guys. But yeah, let me just say I'm going to drop the question. Like, I think it's confusing enough, and there's reasonable enough answers that dropping it is the right thing to do, because we don't want it to be test games. We want it to be understanding, right? And so I will drop that one, which means that everyone gets it right. Whatever you put, you got it right. Okay. Hopefully you answered it, because I don't know what the thing does, if the machine does if you didn't. But so what you should say is I should get that right. If the machine sends back a number and you get your number back and it's not what you expect, please come see me and we'll do it manually to do it, because it gets a bit iffy there if you left it blank, for instance. But everyone gets that one right is the. Okay. Team effort. Good job. Okay, so we'll leave the exam at this stage, for better or worse. Yeah, we got some time.